All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Finding the Fantastic. It's the time when we do that thing where we find something fantastic in our lives, in between the hustle of surviving life and achieving it. And this podcast / Facebook Live experience is going to be about the fact that sometimes life is just not fantastic. And that's okay. It really is. People ask me all the time, they're like, oh yeah, fun, you're fantastic, Colleen. Oh yeah, you're always happy, Colleen. This and that, always being positive. And I totally believe with the concept, in the concept of always being positive. I think it's important to be positive. But sometimes, a lot of times actually, you need to be okay with not being okay. Like realizing that the situation you are in the moment is bad. It's just bad, whether it be because it just happened upon you and you're unlucky, or you did something to maybe deserve it, or you did something to not deserve it. It just happens. So like, for instance, I had a pretty bad Thursday night this week. I mean, we're talking full authenticity, disclosure. It was pretty horrific. A lot of things were supposed to happen. They didn't happen. And around 7:45 at night, I was like at a low. Like there was no bringing me back from just being upset and depressed and sad. I was just like, I really don't know what to do right now to like pick myself up. So I go to my bar. I go to one of these places that I know some people there. And it's like one of those times where you want to be alone because you don't know how to pull it all together. It just kind of hurts and sucks. But at the same time, you're hoping to be around somebody who just gets it. If that makes sense? Somebody who just gets it. And that was the moment I was in. I wanted to be alone because I was just that upset. And at the same time, I wanted to be around somebody who got it. So I was like, I'm going to go to one of these bars, local restaurant. I know a few of the people there who work there. I'm just going to go be around. Not knowing, not expecting anything, because you can't expect people to be there for you. You can't. But I was like, let me give it a try. So I go there and quite honestly, it was fantastic. They took care of me. They were so sweet. They're like, you've had a bad day, haven't you? And I'm like, yeah, it's been pretty horrific. And they're like, what can we get you? What can we do for you? And I was like, this is what I need. And then about an hour and a half in, my baby sister, who I adore, she was like, yo, what are you doing? And I kind of told her, and she's like, well, I'm going to come out. I'm coming out. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Cause I don't want to put nothing on anybody. And she was like, no, I'm coming out. So she comes out. She just sits there. And, she looked at me before I even said anything. She's like, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. It is okay that you are not okay. You don't have to be this peppy, happy, always finding the fantastic person, because in this moment, you're finding something fantastic by admitting and understanding that you're in a low place and what just happened to you really sucked, and you're just going to deal with it. So that was cool. And then she calls in some ringers, like my two friends, Indy and Abdul. I cannot thank them enough. They end up meeting us out, and just like, I don't know, it's like one of those moments where it's just a distraction. You don't want to sit because you're upset and problem solve. You don't want to sit with anybody who's trying to give you solutions or this or that, because there is no solutions. You're just, you just need to not be okay. And you need to be around people who are okay with being like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. We're just going to distract you. We're just going to have a good time. Or we're just going to literally sit here in silence. So my point is, sometimes in finding the fantastic, it's not necessarily finding something fantastic. It's understanding and finding that you're not okay. And what it requires is knowing people who are finding their fantastic, because a big part of finding the fantastic is helping other people and being there for other people. People are literally the energy of life. And I'm just like discovering that. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's because you're an extrovert. And I'm like, no, like, let's say you're going through something during the day. Let's say you haven't been able to sleep for days and you're just like, I'm so tired, I can't sleep. I'm so tired, I can't sleep. Well, let's say all of a sudden you run into a friend you haven't seen in a while. And you're just like, oh my God, person. And you're jazzed. And all of a sudden you have like an extra 4 hours worth of energy you didn't know you had stored up. Why? Because people have that effect on other people. Like, you can literally change somebody's day for like the super huge better by just finding your fantastic, by helping other people, by going the extra distance, by finding out what they need and filling it. And I'm not talking about helping them by what you think they need, because that's not how it works. Like, let's say, for instance, somebody this Thursday night came to me and was like, I'm going to go be there for Colleen. And they sat there and they tried to problem solve and give me answers. That's not what I needed on Thursday night. I didn't need someone to sit there and say, well, this, or look on the bright side, or that. I needed somebody just to sit there with me in silence or distract me by something else. That's what I needed. So when you try to find your fantastic by helping other people, think about it that way. Think about how can you help the person the way they needed to be helped. And I guarantee you, your whole game is going to change. And for my people who are going through things right now, it is okay to not be okay. You are probably going through something right now that's not okay. And you shouldn't have to sit there and go, well, how do I find my fantastic out of this? You don't. What you do is you admit it honestly, and then you try to hope or surround yourself by other people who you know are trying to find their fantastic and will help you and fill the need that you need filled. All right. So all my people going out there going through something right now, you're not alone. And it's okay to not be okay. It really is. Even I have those days. Like I said, this Thursday, I was real low. I was real low. I didn't actually even want to find something fantastic on Thursday because that's just where I was at. And that is okay. So anyways, that's it for the podcast. It's going on a little long. Please subscribe. Please like my Facebook page, like my Instagram. Go on to Apple iTunes Podcast. Go on to Podcast Addict, any podcast app. Look up Finding the Fantastic, and please subscribe. Share this with friends. Let's help some people who need some help. All right. So have a good one. I gotta go. It's all rainy outside and stuff. Do 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 do.